Om Shanti. Today, 16th February 2023, the Murli of the day, Avyakt Murli of the day is dated 26th October 1971, titled The Basis of Our Karmas is Our Attitude. So in this Murli, Baba has emphasized on the significance of the attitude. That is, in Hindi, it is vritti. How important is our attitude, and whatever is our attitude, that is the foundation of our actions, karmas, and which then translate into our sanskars. Baba has given the key to attitude is our awareness, smriti, and thereafter Baba says that the whatever we have awareness, it affects our vision. And if we have an elevated attitude, there cannot be any waste thought. And Baba speaks about the awareness of the three basic things. One is the humility, that is nirman, then nirman, renewal, something constructive, and then nirvan, that is going beyond sound in deep silence. The more we observe ourselves to be in these three stages, our stage becomes powerful, and there's a power in our awareness which creates a very powerful attitude. So our stage is accurate and powerful, so our words will be accurate and powerful. So Baba says, later on, Baba says that we need to be constantly in charge, consider ourselves to be responsible souls, responsible for the task of the inner world transformation, which leads to the outer world transformation. So Baba gave a very powerful slogan that considering ourselves to be on this world stage, whatever actions I perform, others who see me will do the same. So let's read this Murli together by being seated in the stage of the incorporeal stage, where I, the soul, is very powerful, self-sovereign soul, listening to the invaluable words of Bab Dada. The basis of our karmas is our attitude. Today, it is the start of the bhakti of the Pandav army who live in households. So Pandav army who live in the households, Alaukik living in the Laukik. Do you consider yourself to be Pandavas? Do you constantly have your Pandava form in your awareness? So Baba always differentiates the Pandav form from the household form. Or do you have sometimes consider yourself to be Pandavas and sometimes to be householders? So we'll keep checking our stage. These are the qualitative aspects of our stage, whether this stage is of a Pandava who's detached, who's a trustee, or it is the stage of a householder in a limited world. So by constantly considering yourself to be Pandavas, that is guides, pandas in Hindi, could you have any awareness other than that of pilgrimage and the destination? The moment we stay in this awareness of being a guide. Shiv Baba is our supreme guide, and we are his children, the guide. So the awareness will always be of the pilgrimage and the destination, like Pandavas. They always had this awareness, and God was in company of Pandavas. So Baba gives the same aspect he describes here. If you have any other awareness, the reason for that is that you forget your Pandav form. By changing your awareness, that is your attitude, that is thought pattern, even your actions are transformed. So the key to transform our sanskars or sansar, the world, which is based on our actions, what we perform, and in turn, the actions are dependent on our thought pattern, that is the attitude, and which in turn depends on the the specific awareness which the soul is having at the moment. The basis of action is your attitude. This is the key theme of the today's Murli. The basis of action is your attitude. Only through your attitude does your household become pure or impure. The locking roles which the soul plays, the relationships become pure or impure based on the attitude of the soul. Bhav and Bhavna also are part of this, the intent behind any thought, word, or action. This is why, if the Pandav army connects its thoughts constantly with the one Father, then with this attitude, you can bring about progress in yourselves. The lines to ponder on. As Pandavas always used to think, and you not only think, they used to live with Father together, inseparable, always in the constant companionship, constant company of the one Father. So they always were in that awareness that Father is with me, the Supreme Father is with me. So, with this attitude, they used to bring progress in themselves. Progress is based on your attitude. What do you have to do to your attitude? Thought pattern. Baba is asking a question. What is the purusharth, or what is the effort we have to do on our attitude? Baba answers, if your attitude is elevated, your household will also be elevated. So the more elevated is your attitude, the energy, the frequency, the vibrations will be elevated, and this elevated vibrations will purify the household. They will go into the entire environment around, in and around the household. So for easy progress, what should you keep in your attitude? Baba is asking a question. What is that aspect which we should remember in our attitude for easy progress, natural progress? Constantly remember that you belong to the one Father and none other. Underline these lines. You have all relationships. What does it mean to be belonging to the one Father and none other? This means that all relationships with the one Father, I am related, I am connected to the one Father in all relationships, and I receive all attainments from the one Father. Relationships, they lead to attainments of various, the experiences, the treasures, the happiness, entertainment, everything from one Father. By constantly having this attitude, you will constantly have the vision of the soul. That is, you will have the vision of the brotherhood, the underlying, uh, you can say the core is the vision of the soul, the soul consciousness stage. This elevated attitude will lead to the soul consciousness stage because the all relationships with the incorporeal father will lead to the soul consciousness stage ultimately. And then the soul will have the vision of the brotherhood. Everybody is mine. Every soul is mine, my brother, children of one father. Your attitude only becomes mischievous when you forget the attainments from having all relationships with the one father. When you do not have any relationship with anyone except the father, why should your attitude become mischievous? You see the Kauravas, they were not having any relationship with the one father, so they were indulging in mischievous thoughts, words, and actions. And thereafter, they had a different destiny, different from Pandavas. So when you have an elevated attitude, you cannot be mischievous. Make your attitude elevated. So elevated attitude is the key to have to purify the household, purify the various roles which the soul is playing, and your household will automatically become elevated. Household means the soul stage, the stage where the soul is at the moment. Therefore, make your household this, and it will become a means of progress through which you will easily receive liberation and salvation. Automatically, the soul gets liberated, from the day-to-day, uh, day-to-day situations. Then that household will not become an excuse for you to come down. So, come what may, the soul will always be at a high stage, elevated stage, highest vibration, energy. So, in order to progress, those who are living in a household have to make their attitude good. That means we need to work on our attitude. And then the complaint of the attitude becoming mischievous will finish. In your awareness and attitude, you must constantly have the land of nirvana and the stage of nirvana, and you must be humble, nirman in your activity. So, by having awareness of these three aspects, which one? One is a humility, that this means in Hindi, nirman, egoless stage. Second is renewal, that is nirman, that is constructiveness. And silence, nirvan, that is beyond sound. Then every activity, task, and stage of the soul will become powerful. That is, there will be power in your awareness. This is a key lines to be underlined. These three stages, nirman, nirvan, and nirvan. When there is power, you cannot forget any of the three. So, in order to finish forgetfulness, have a powerful awareness. This is very easy, is it not? If you have humility, that is nirman or the egolessness in your activity, your task of world renewal will continue automatically, naturally, without any effort. Humility means being egoless. When there is humility, the arrogance of the body automatically finishes. When those who remain humble come into sound from the stage of silence, that is the Paramdham or the incorporeal world, their words will be accurate and powerful. When something is powerful, although less in quantity, it has a lot of quality. This is very important. In the same way, when you first stabilize yourself in the stage of being beyond the sound and you then come into sound, the words you speak will be few, but they will be more powerful. At present, you have to go into a lot of detail, but as you continue to make your stage powerful, each word of yours will be filled with the significance of 1,000 words. Gagar mein sagar in Hindi it is called. Through this, your wasteful words will automatically finish. Just as the entire essence of knowledge is merged in a small badge, Baba's badge has got the entire knowledge, the essence of the knowledge. In the same way, even one word that emerges from you will be filled with the total significance of knowledge. So, you have to fill your words with such power. When your attitude and words become powerful, your actions will also be constantly accurate and powerful. So, accuracy and power, they will automatically, naturally, they will come when when the attitude is elevated, when attitude has got power. You have you have come here to charge your batteries. So how will the power be increased? By charging the battery, the soul battery. So in order to do this, constantly consider yourselves to be in charge of world renewal. So we are the officer in charge of the world renewal, officer on special duties. If you constantly consider yourselves to be in charge of the task of this world, your batteries will remain constantly charged. So an in charge will always have an elevated awareness that I am in charge. So what responsibility is on my shoulders? So when you forget that you yourself are in charge of this, your battery becomes discharged. Therefore, constantly consider yourself to be in charge of this task and then constantly check the chart of the charge of your batteries. So, so entire day, keep checking the chart of the charge of your batteries. We can charge in Amrit Vela and then thereafter we constantly check the chart whether the charge of the battery is up or down. Then there will never be a discharge in the thoughts, actions, or stage of the soul. Then this complaint will finish. You have this complaint, do you not? This is the biggest complaint if everyone. The reason for this is that you do not consider yourselves to be in charge of such elevated actions. Baba is giving us a slogan: whatever actions I perform, others who see me will do the same. This is fixed anyway. But do you understand to what greater depth you have to imbibe this slogan? So, an in charge will always be feel responsible. So, whatever actions an in charge performs, the others who are the followers who see that in charge soul will do the same. What deep slogan is necessary for the bhakti of the Pandavas? You were told about the slogan, whatever actions I perform, others who see me will do the same. In the same way, whatever is my attitude, so will be the atmosphere. So I create the atmosphere through my attitude. The responsibility is on me. The atmosphere will be according to the attitude of yourself, the instrument soul. This another aspect Baba says, consider yourselves to be the instrument soul, and the atmosphere is decided by the attitude of I, the instrument soul. So it is the attitude that transforms the atmosphere. Attitude is more subtle than action. Action comes later, but before the action comes into the world, the backstage attitude is the power which is working behind the stage. Now, you must not pay attention to just your actions, but consider yourself to be in charge of creating the atmosphere through your attitude. Bapdada says, who will make the atmosphere Sato Pradhan? So, whose responsibility is to make the atmosphere Sato Pradhan? That is highest vibration. All of you are instruments for this, are you not? If you constantly had this slogan in your awareness, would your attitude then become mischievous? A child will only become mischievous when he is free. That is another important aspect. So the so the attitude also becomes mischievous when you lack the awareness of such a great task. If a very mischievous child is kept busy and yet does not let go of his mischievous behavior, then what method would be used? Baba says, first is to make the intellect busy so that there is less chance of any mischievous thoughts or any actions or any mischievous activity. But suppose the intellect is also busy, but still the intellect does not let go of the mischievous behavior, then what method would be used? Dada says there is still the complaint that even though you try to keep your attitude busy in remembrance and knowledge, it still becomes mischievous. So, what should you then do? Just as you try to restrain a mischievous child with some type of bondage, whether physical bondage or using loving words to tempt him into some attainment, in the same way, you will have to tie your intellect and your thoughts with one or another bondage. So Baba says gives a method of substitution. What is the bondage? Check where your intellect goes and then transform those worldly things into spiritual things. Then, after comparing the worldly things with the spiritual imperishable things, keep the spiritual imperishable things in your awareness. So, Baba says, compare the worldly things with the spiritual things, spiritual counterparts, and then keep the high energy or high frequency things in your awareness, which are the spiritual imperishable things. When the attitude of a bodily being is mischievous, then in whatever relationship there is mischief, experience that particular relationship with the eternal Father. That this is yet another method Bhabdada is describing, that whichever relationship the soul finds, experiences any kind of mischievous behavior, so experience that particular relationship with the eternal Father in a practical way. For example, if your attitude is mischievous in relationship of the household, then attain the alaukic experience of this relationship from the Father who fulfills all relationships. When whatever was lacking is fulfilled, you will become free from mischief. So get the fulfillness from the relationship with the one Father. Do you understand? If you have all relationships and all attainments from the one Father, would your intellect be still mischievous towards any others? So the biggest bondage of having all relationships with one is that you have to restrain your mischievous attitude. With the bondage of having all relationships with the one Father, all types of mischief will easily finish. You will then be unable to see any other relationship or any other attainment, and so where could your attitude be drawn to? This is a very important line Baba says, because the psychology of the soul is that soul will be drawn to whichever, that whatever thing where the soul is experiencing attainments, soul is in some kind of relationship. So Baba says, by bonding the relationships with the one and experiencing all attainments from the one, so where could your attitude be drawn to other than that one? Tie yourself, as is remembered in the example of Sita being ordered to stay within the line drawn for her. In the same way, whilst taking every step or creating any thought, consider yourself to be within the line drawn by the Father. So there is a line drawn by the Father for the soul. If you go outside the line, even in your thoughts, then wasteful thoughts will attack you, just like Sita. Constantly stay within the line that has been drawn for you. Then you will remain constantly safe, and no sanskar of Ravan will attack you. You will not waste your time again and again in finishing little things. There will neither be any attack, nor will your time be wasted again and again. For this, constantly remember your order, the order given by the Father, that always remain within the line. You have come to this bhakti in order to become such obedient children. Have you not? Therefore, return with this practice so that you do not have even one thought which is not within the order. The tilak of being such obedient children, Farman Vardar in Hindi it's called, Farman Vardar. The tilak of being such obedient children should all constantly be applied to your awareness. Apply this tilak, and then we shall see who claims the first number, who will claim the first prize in adopting this tilak. Acha, all you children consider yourselves to be the Father's worthy children, do you not? To be worthy means to be obedient. This is yet another line to be remembered. To be worthy means to be obedient. You have put into practice the directions you have been given. So check from Amrit Vela until night. Are you moving along in the directions you have been given for your thoughts, words, deeds, and relationships? So this is a kind of homework for us today. Bab Dada is giving us check from Amrit Vela until the night time. Are you moving along in the directions you have been given for your thoughts, words, deeds, awareness, and relationships? Or is it that you are able to follow some directions and not others? Are your thoughts according to the directions or are they mixed? If they are mixed, then are you fully obedient or half obedient? You have been given clear directions for the thoughts you should have at every moment. It is also clear what thoughts you have at Amrit Vela, is it not? So, do you follow the directions or do you sometimes go to Param Dham and sometimes the land of sleep? In every action and at every moment, are your steps in Baba's footsteps? If the father's steps are one thing and the child's steps are something else, then that would not be called obedience, would it? Whether in doing anything for God or in general interaction with anyone, check your percentage of following the directions as they are given to you. Do you know how to check? Those who are obedient receive the Father's blessings automatically, and together with that, they also have the blessings of the Brahmin family. So check the thoughts you had for the self, for service, and for any physical work or for other souls. Did you receive blessings from those? So this is another we can practice today. Do we receive blessings from others while playing different roles during the service or during any physical work? By being obedient, you receive everyone's blessings, obedient to the one Father. The sign of receiving blessings is that your heart and mind will always remain content. How do we check? We check through the degree of contentment, not external contentment, but the contentment of the mind. You can tell if your mind is content or if you are just trying to please yourself by being Mia Mittu, that is, no one like yourself, the false praise of yourself. The sign of accurate obedience is that you yourself and everyone else will thereby remain double light through the effect of the blessings. If you don't remain double light, then you can understand that the mind is not content. So, this is the checking which we need to do. Blessings from the family are essential. Do not think that your connection is with the Father and that you have His blessings. And so it does not matter if you are unable to get on with the family. So Baba says that blessings from the entire Brahmin family is very important, as important as from the Father. As you were told earlier, the rosary is not made of just the dual bead. A rosary is not created with just those beads. You have come into the rosary, and you therefore have the full aim that all souls should become happy when they see me. They should become light, and their burden should finish. Very, very important aim. That so a content heart and the blessings from being obedient will make you and others light. From this, you can understand to what extent you are obedient. So, this is a checking point Baba gives us a tool or a technique to understand that to what extent I, the soul, am obedient. You saw Father Brahma, each one, young and old, was content and dancing in happiness. At the time of dancing, you have to be light, for only then can you dance. Even if some are heavy but light in their minds, they are able to dance, whereas those who are thin but heavy in their minds, very important line, are unable to dance. So your words should be such that you are content with yourself and others are also content with you. Do not say that that was not my intention or feelings. My Why does that intention or feeling not reach the other person? If they are right, then why do the vibrations of the intention or the feeling not reach the other person? There must be some reason. So check to what extent have I become worthy of receiving blessings? To the extent that you become worthy of receiving blessings from the Father and Brahmin souls, to the extent you will be worthy of the kingdom. If you are unable to make Brahmin souls content now, then how will you rule your kingdom? The more you tolerate in an unlimited way, the more you receive unlimited blessings. Power of tolerance in an unlimited way. Because you are being obedient to the Father. The Father has asked you to tolerate. So, this is the order given by the Father. So, is following his directions a matter of happiness or of compulsion? Do not tolerate under compulsion. This is yet another aspect. We should check whether we should be safeguarding ourselves that we are not tolerating under compulsion. Some do tolerate, but also say no one has had to tolerate as much as I have had to. Then they come to the dadis and say, do not know how much I have had to tolerate. However, what was the loss? you only accumulated benefit. If you follow the directions, you receive the Father's blessings and everything becomes easy. If you do not follow the Father's directions and do not receive His help and blessings, then it becomes difficult. So, you are constantly obedient, are you not? In Lockic relationships, too, the parents have so much love for their obedient children. That is temporary love. Whereas here, this is imperishable love, constantly imperishable love. Acha, Om, Shanti. So let's take a pause of 1 minute and ponder on, churn the the intent, the feelings, and the understanding, the deep understanding. These these tools, these techniques of elevating our attitude and then thus transforming our actions. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. May I call upon the all the members of the divine family to share their churnings or share their experience. Om Shanti. What are the three aspects which Baba has, told us to always remember in our awareness?
Om Shanti, brother. That is
Om Shanti.
humility, renewal, and silence.
Yes. Thank you, sister, for sharing. These three aspects ensure that we have elevated, awareness.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti.
Just the beginning of the Murli, when Baba said household. So, he has a different recipe for different category. Because just a few days back, Baba spoke about attitude, and that was for the planning people, where Baba said attitude is the seed, words are important, attitude is subtle. And I remember only one key word in that Murli: intoxicated beggars and wandering yogis. But today, Baba is saying you are in a household. So, as rightly said now, the place from where I come from, I should remember. The stage, what is it? That is again silence. And as somebody rightly said, the virtue. This virtue of humility brings in me a Sreshta Swaman. मैं किसका बच्चा हूं? To whom do I belong to? So if that elevated thought comes, again, that is connected to the place, it is connected to the stage. All these three are connected. Once I get this elevated thought, it finishes my body consciousness of I, then I can see only goodness in everyone. I think these three, from where I come from, what is my stage, and how should the behavior, the virtue. Om Shanti.
Very, very nicely expressed. Thank you, sister. other souls also kindly share the important sharings which you have noted from the today's Murli as a takeaway or even as a homework. See, Pandavas, when we, you know, emerge, that the Pandavas, the form of the Pandavas, it's in stark contrast to the householder, because Pandavas are always, uh, they are not considering this world as a household. They are, as sister rightly, uh, wrought about that we are, the soul has come from the Param Dham and in company with the God. The soul is constantly in company with the God. So, and God is giving the orders. They always, Pandavas always keep the God in front, Their God is always in the front, and they take every thought, every word, and every actions after consulting God. So that is that's why Pandavas are always shown as a victorious. They are always having victory in their side. So that awareness of Pandavas is very, very important, which Baba has started this Murli with, because the attitude is transformed when we consider ourselves to Pandavas. The awareness will be of pilgrimage and the destination. Where are we going? Who is leading our destination? God Himself. Om Shanti. There are so many other aspects also which have been told to us by the Bab Dada. Kindly share.
Om Shanti Brother. Baba's
Om
told,
Shanti.
whatever actions I perform, others who sees me will also follow the same. So that point is very good. And the attitude is more subtle than action. That is the point
Yes,
also is very this. And then he's asking us to check in Amartha Vela until night how we are thoughts are and in which directions are we moving. Given in the thoughts, that words and deeds and relationship, whether we are in line. Thank you, brother.
yes, very beautiful. Yeah, checking is very important. Amrit Vela, the battery is charged full, and then we see where are the wastages. Where does this battery is getting consumed? It should not consume in the trivial thoughts, words, and actions. So we need to keep a chart of uh, checking the charge of the batteries, and also considering ourselves to be the in charge. That then it creates a powerful attitude, powerful awareness that I am in charge. Om Shanti. Anyone else?
Brother, I just want to add one thing in this. Like you spoke of awareness. So you see, Baba is highlighting, establishing, telling us the basis for any progress is smriti. And we know even in that chain of how the samskaras are created, smriti is the foundation. That is why he starts the Murli by saying, remember the place. But what he has touched in today's Murli is the weakness which is there in a household. What is that? Mischief. So, what is the mischief? And I could just collect 2 or 3 points. Baba says, if you have a good attitude, mischief goes. If you have the thought, I am in charge, then you're discharged. Mischief comes. So, what do we do when a child, when it is mischief? We tie him with a rope, and then so that he doesn't do mischief. So, Baba says, tie yourself in bondage, become Sita, draw a line, and as rightfully said, check whether you're crossing the line. So these points he gives us to finish the mischief. Then we get blessings from everyone. Most important, the family, contentment, and double light. So I like this mischief in the household, the steps which he has given. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I'll just read the important, very beautifully expressed, sister. Some sharings on chat. Rakhi sister has shared three important aspects: humility, renewal, and silence. HRS. That's how we can remember. Basis of our action is our attitude. Yes, Radhamani sister shared, progress is based on your attitude. Yes, the progress of the soul is based on the attitude, the elevated attitude. And then constantly remember all relationships is with one Father, yes, and none other. Remember all attainments are received from the one Father, because the intellect has a tendency to go where the intellect is getting attainments, and the attainments are hinged on the where we have relationships, where we are nurturing those relationships. So the relationships with one Father will automatically lead to all attainments from one Father. And consider, Radhamani sister has shared, consider yourself instrument soul. Yes, when I, the soul, is an instrument, and I'm automatically obedient, because I will not mix my manmat with the directions of the Father. So Baba has emphasized on the Farman Vardari, that obedience with the one Father. Yes, Girja sister has also shared blessings from Brahmin family. Yes, very, very important as to get the best blessings from the Supreme Father, blessings from the family. Anyone, one last sharing we'll take before we move to meditation, 1 minute meditation.
Baba is also added to that, brother. If a father is keeping a step and if a child is keeping the step away from the father, then how can we say he's obedient?
Yes,
That
yes. And
also.
the steps are thoughts, words, and actions, isn't it? And
Yes, it should match with.
yeah, and thought is in the series, the thought is the third or the fourth uh, output. Before the thought, the attitude, the vision comes, vision. And before the vision, the attitude comes. And before the attitude, awareness comes. So Baba has started the Murli with the awareness, as rightfully is said by the sister, by Sister Girja, that first is the vision, that who am I? Am I just merely a householder, or am I a Pandava? And then thereafter he works on the the next output, which is the attitude, and then next okay, then he comes to the thoughts, words, and actions, and our behavior in the outer world with the Brahmin family, with the Lokik family. So I'll just share one more chat on the chat box.
Om Shanti,
Balvinder
brother.
Om Shanti.
Brother, that all souls should become happy when they see me. They should become light, they say, brother. But what is that? And their burden should finish. What is that line, brother? That burden should finish. Their burden should finish when they see us. How is that? Becoming happy and light is okay, but their burden should finish means.
Yeah, anybody would like to share on this aspect? I would like to invite any soul who can share on this aspect. How, when others see either soul, then what is the method, or how does it work that other souls also feel light when they see me or when they interact with me?
So that's the energy we are carrying actually, brother. Baba is also underlined today. If you have to dance, you should, your mind should be light. Even though your body may be heavy, if your mind is light, you can dance. But
Yes.
those who are thin,
Brother,
but
that become happy and become light is okay. The burden should finish. That line only I want. The burden, their
Okay,
burden
okay,
should
okay.
finish.
See, it's like this. The burdens are, you know, if you introspect and if you see in detail, the burden is because of the mind, not because of any physical thing. You
Okay.
know, the size of the situation or the circumstances is decided by the stage of the soul, and where the mind plays a very important role. So the burden, what Baba talks about is the in the mind,
Oh,
the waste thoughts. So when you
oh,
meet a cheerful person, cheerful soul who is dancing in happiness, I mean, not physically dancing, but dancing in
oh,
the mind,
oh.
then automatically you feel, you experience that happiness and you forget your waste thoughts. Then you also get aligned with that kind of energy which that cheerful soul is creating, that energy and that thoughts, and you get aligned with that happy feeling and you will
Okay, he's
forget
talking
your
about
mind.
mind burden, not
Yeah,
physical burden.
not physical
Okay,
burden.
okay,
In a very subtle manner, Baba is bringing out this
yeah.
aspect. So I'll
Thank you,
just
brother.
share that. Om Shanti. Thank you, Divine Family. One last sharing I'll just share by Balvinter, our sister. Correlation between heaviness, lightness, dancing. If body is heavy but bondage free, that soul cannot live without dancing. If body is thin but full of bondage, bondage means bondage in the mind, no more dancing attitude will emerge. Yes, yes, that's what Baba brought out. The focus is on the inner state of mind, not the physical. Om Shanti. So let's,
Brother, lastly, one
yeah,
thing. In 2 days before Murli, I think so, in Sakar Murli, Baba said that I don't even have that Akar Sharir, but Shankar is having that. What is that actually, brother? In Sucham Vadan, is there Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar is there? We are telling to, in the course actually, we are taking the course. Uh, Brahma is there, Avyak Brahma is there. And what about that Shankar and all, brother? Akar Sharir, we are telling, na? He is the
yeah.
creation of creator.
See,
Whether
here
actually
Baba,
Shankar is there, what is that?
okay. Here it is Brahma and Vishnu, both are, both take the physical form. I mean, they take the corporeal form, the chola. Brahma in this during the confluence age, and Vishnu during the Satyuga. But Shankar doesn't take the corporeal form. Shankar is always in the subtle form. That's why it has been said. Shankar is it's basically always remains in that subtle world. He doesn't come into this world because it's basically symbolic of the destruction of the waste thoughts, the old sanskars. So that destruction process is used in a subtle manner only. So that's what Baba says, no? The Stapna, Palna, and Vinash. So Vinash happens in a subtle manner. So have you understood this? There is no Shankar in the corporeal form. It is in the subtle form, where every moment I am creating elevated thoughts, but at the same and elevated sanskars, emerging them. But at the same time, I am destroying the Ravan sanskars, the waste thoughts. I am doing this endeavor that is called Purusharth, and I am nurturing the good thoughts, elevated thoughts. I am nurturing them. Am I clear, sister?
Yes, brother. But actually, Shankar is not there. We are actually creating a thought with
Yes, yes,
ourselves.
yes. Shankar is there in the subtle world. Subtle world means it is there like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. All three are shown there, no? So Shankar is there in the subtle world. You will not see Shankar in the physical form. That is what uh, is. We can discuss this as a separately also, probably some other session. So because of the pressing time, let's churn for a minute and close the session. Om
Okay,
Shanti.
thank you, brother.
Thank you, sister. Now, I, the soul, am seated on the stage of soul consciousness. I am, while living in this household, in between the eyebrows, I am a powerful, victorious Pandava. The unlimited Father, Almighty authority is on my side. He is the supreme commander of the Pandava army. I am in his company, in his companionship. I create every thought, word, and action in under his directions. I am an instrument soul. I'm in charge of my thoughts, words, and actions. I am the master, creator. I, the soul, make it a constant endeavor to check my attitude, check the charge of my soul battery, whether it is in alignment with the supreme authority. The vibrations, the quality of the vibrations, not the quantity. And thus, I am influencing the environment around me to make it very powerful wherever I go, whomever I interact. The others experience the happiness, the lightness of the mind and the intellect in a subtle manner. And in the process, their soul battery also gets charged. My all relationships are with the one Father, and I work on making these relationships beautiful, making these relationships two-way communication, experiencing all attainments of happiness, purity, joy, love, and feeling powerful from the one Father in every relationship with the Father. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Brother.
brother. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Mumbai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 am. Till that time, have a wonderful day.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.